If you go through the process, you want to make it last as long as possible. Like normally when you hang, you stagger your butt joints. Now this right here, I don't know why he did this, but he glued all of his drywall. And then when you break your seams, usually you start one direction and then you go back. So like this here, normally he broke his seam here and he broke his seam here. Normally this is kind of non-structural. So at least if you do that, try to glue. But it's best practice not to break on joints like that. And now he glued it too, so. Break on the corners. Because that's gonna be a chance where it's gonna normally crack. Usually cracks on the corners. Like this here too, since it's on the edge. Joint there. Those are normally where it cracks. So you want to try to get away from doing that. If you have to do it, you have to do it. But try to, if you can cut a little more and then replace a little more, you know, on down the line. And when you're taping your drywall, you want to make sure you tape in sequence. So your first layer is usually your butt joints and your headers. A butt joint is when you put two sheets together. A header would be that, and that is what you call a seam or flat. Seam or flat. So you tape your butt joints first, headers first, then you tape your flats. So you're going over the butt joint. Then you tape your corners. Your corners are the last thing you tape. Everything is already seated, overlap. Pre-fill everything. If you want it to last as long as possible, you want to pre-fill. Where's my Durabond? That's the Durabond you use. Don't use lightweight. If you want it to last as long as possible, use that stuff. That's the best stuff. And then when I say all-purpose tape and mud is all-purpose. I watched a video and they said, oh, well, you can tape with anything all-purpose. And they included +3. Well, +3 is made for coating. Normally, for best practice, your first coat is always with tape and mud because it has glue in it. It's heavier. And if you're only doing a little patch, I'd probably just do it with all-purpose. Then you can use +3 to coat with. So your bed coat is always with all-purpose. And that's your seams, your joints. And if you want to fan it out, just cover it with all-purpose and then fan it out with the +3. As long as the tape and mud is seating on the tape. Your mud is heavier at the beginning, and then when you get down to finaling, I 3-coat everything. It makes it look, you know, as slick as possible. You want everything as flat as possible, so no humps, no hollow marks, because sometimes if you get a bright light, you can shine it down the wall and you can see. The screws are the only thing I don't use all-purpose with on my first coat, unless, you know, it's in a corner or something and it gets it. Try to get it as heavy as possible. In my last coat, I put some water in it. Obviously glue your drywall. Happy drywalling.